Hi, Indrajit. Welcome to yet another episode of Impact Players. It's an honor having you here. You're the first pro I actually met when I started working for Tiger Sports, and you're actually my first friend on the golf tour. So it's really a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you so much. I'm touched at what you're saying because I made some really good friends during that time, and you've always been a very good friend. You know, one of the few people who've come and stayed with us also. So
Remember that.
Thank you so much.
To begin with, how have you been spending the lockdown? I mean, I know it's been crazy for everyone. Calcutta also is in a mess right now. So like Delhi.
So, when the lockdown started, we were actually quite chilled because, it was like getting a break for the first time in my life. And as we already have our education platform, which is an online platform, we took all our classes online, and, it was quite nice and fun. And we did about 50 webinars in 30 days, in the first 30 days of the lockdown. And we did classes with pros from across the world. But, now it's getting a little scary because I know so many people who actually got the COVID. Touch wood, nobody's really got that critical. One friend of mine was a little critical, but not on the ventilator. But it's right at your doorsteps now. So it's not so much fun anymore. But I did enjoy the break. One thing I wanted to talk about is, this lockdown has actually made the entire world realize that, we are all going too fast. And it's taught us values, it's taught us relationships with the family. I realized that I barely had a connect with my children, both my son and daughter. And my son is 21, my daughter's 19. And we actually never really spoke since they grew up. And this kind of forced us to, sit together because we all have our lives. We have our phones, we have our TV channels, laptops. Everyone is in the digital world. And I think this lockdown has actually taught us a lot of things and has taken us a little back and slowed us down. So I think, you need to take the positives out of it.
And how do you think it has affected the sport of golf in your part of the world?
See, Ashwin, I think we've been a little lucky because we started 1st of June. Golf has started in Bengal 1st of June. Okay. I know Hyderabad has not started. Delhi started a little later. I know Bangalore has started also, but Bombay is shut. Mumbai, Pune is shut. And golf has been hit like any other sport very, very badly. If you ask me as a man in the golf industry, we've lost revenue close to 90% after opening. So we lost 3 months of revenue, which was zero. And then we've lost, our coaches can barely, make the ends meet. We are trying to just provide them enough, giving them loans to, run their families. The caddies, the ball boys are getting supported by people. We've also, been hit really badly. So sports just like the entertainment industry has been the most affected. Because if people don't realize, but even gyms, fitness, I think fitness and yoga can be done online. And, one more positive out of this lockdown has been that people, you can go to the best yoga teacher in Bangalore, or you can go to the best fitness trainer in America, which you never had the option because they wouldn't have taken you online. Today, everybody's taking you online. So it's brought the fitness industry very close. Even though the gyms are suffering, I think the fitness industry has not been as badly been hit as the sports industry. Now, you and me can't play cricket online, right? Or you and me can't play golf online, or we cannot give a golf lesson online. You can, but only to an extent. I can give you 2 lessons online. You can give 2 cricket lessons online, but you can't give 20 cricket lessons online.
True.
And unless the guy is really serious about cricket or golf or tennis or football, even those online lessons mean nothing. If you're a Ranji player or an Indian team player or a aspiring cricketer, you can spend 3 months online understanding technique, talking to a coach. But if you are you're playing the sport for entertainment, the online classes don't interest you. So even though fitness has been hit, I think the sports industry, especially academies, events, they're finished. The guys who do events, they've all gone on unpaid leave. So we've been hit really, really badly.
But as they say, one man's food is another man's poison. There are so many associated industries in sport that are picking up, like gym equipment, people actually buying equipment. So those guys are doing well, and yoga mats, XYZ. Lots of people are getting things to do at home, including consumer durables like washing machines and stuff like that. So lots of industries are benefiting. But you're right, it is a mess.
Yeah. So like we bought a washing machine because we've reduced the part-time maids coming. We bought a bigger fridge, things like that. But when we are talking about the sports industry, I mean, I'm concerned mainly with the sports industry, not even the fitness industry so much. We are finished. I mean, if you look at the coaches, they are the worst hit. The managers, the guys who've been doing events, so many people get jobs during the IPL or during the Kabaddi League or, during any of these leagues that happen. So many jobs are created. These guys, you'll know so many guys in the, sports marketing business who work part-time, only 4 months, 5 months. They're all done. I mean, nobody has any jobs. Nobody has any work to do. So overall, I think people who are totally involved in the sports industry are hit. The guy who sells yoga mats also does something else, so he's not only making a yoga mat or he's not only making a gym equipment, because he's already into, fabricating and stuff like that. So, fabricators make gym equipment. So these guys have other things to do. Corporate offices have other things to do. You can run a company at a lower scale by staying at home. But unfortunately, you cannot run sports staying at home.
That's true. Coming back to you, your journey with golf began when you were following your father as a little kid, a 4 or 5 year old kid on the golf course.
That's right. I was, I think, between 3 and 4. So it's an interesting story. I think nobody really knows how it started. I was actually born in the UK, and then my parents moved back when I was really young. And, with the weather change and the food change, I kind of started developing a little bit of asthmatic tendencies. And at the age of 3, my father took me to a very, very famous doctor, a homeopathy doctor, who actually recommended that I spend a lot of time outdoors, so more fresh air and, I get to breathe in open ground. So my father had just started golf. So he figured that, taking me to the golf course was the best thing to do. And that's how, I got a short cut down 2-iron, which was this small, and I still have it. And, I used to play with that 2-iron, and I used to follow my dad around at the age of 3 and a half. And then, that's how I started. And then at the age of, I think, 9 or 10, I played a junior tournament and I won. And that's what really got me going. So, I thought that I could win every tournament I play. And got me really interested at the age of 9, 10.
Which tournament was this?
This was just a club junior tournament. That time, I'm talking about 1981, 82. So that time there was no junior golf really.
So what was the next step? Did you play a sizable amount of junior golf after that?
No, so I didn't play much of junior golf. I played the All India Juniors in Calcutta, the sub juniors I won. Then I played only 2-3 junior events. I played again the All India Juniors. I didn't travel much as a junior, so I played the All India Juniors in Calcutta again when I was 16, and I lost by a shot to Daniel Chopra. So So, that was very, very close. And I remember I bogeyed the 17, 18 to lose by a shot. Arjun Singh and Daniel Chopra went into a playoff.
Okay.
And so that's pretty much, I played a couple of tournaments here and there, but I didn't play much of junior golf. And then at the age of 17, I decided to turn pro. I went and actually played the British Open qualifiers at the age of 17 as an amateur.
Okay.
And I made the final qualifying. And
Okay.
and that actually made me decide that, it's time that I actually go out and play professional golf. So at that time, I was the youngest professional golfer in the country.
So what made you decide, what made you want to go and play or attempt to go play the British Open? Where did that decision come from?
So, from childhood, you always aspire to play, the majors and win majors. And that was a dream for me always. And the British Open is like Wimbledon for somebody, like a tennis player, it's Wimbledon. It's for a cricketer, it's like going and being able to play at the Lords. So, I've always been, and still I'm a very traditional kind of a person when it comes to sport, and I value history a lot in sport. So for me to, go and play an Open Championship, or at least try to play one, is the ultimate achievement for me. So, there's no two ways that I would actually think about not trying to play the Open. And if I had an opportunity to play one tournament in my life, it would definitely be the Open Championship.
But how did you manage to go there? Did you qualify for it, or did you have to
No,
go
so
through
you had
some,
to play qualifiers. So, I eventually played 6 final qualifiers. You actually have two stages of the Open Championship, the regional qualifying and the final qualifying. So I made it to 6 of the final qualifiers, but I didn't make it to the Open. Closest I've come is a couple of shots, but
okay.
I haven't made it to the Open, but I played 6 of the final qualifiers. That way I played 1 US Open also final qualifier.
Yeah. So what was the difference when you first went abroad? I know you were born in the UK, but not quite on a golf course. So when you went to the UK to play golf for the first time, what was the difference you noticed?
So Ashwin, not only the first time, but even for many years, I played the Asian Tour from 1990. There were only Ajay Gupta and one odd tournament, Ali Sher, but otherwise no Indians played. So, the first few years that I played abroad, and I tried to play a lot of tournaments abroad, is very, very lonely. Now, you have so many Indians playing. Even on the PGA Tour, you have Arjun Atwal, and then you have Anirban, and then Shubhankar going and playing a few. On the European Tour, you have 4 or 5 Indians, a lot of Indians. But when I was playing, I was the only Indian. I remember, I think 97, 97, I went for the European Tour Q School in Spain. And I was the only guy who actually spoke English there.
Wow. And who did you speak to then?
I had no one to speak to. I went crazy. I went actually mad. And at that time, I was a vegetarian. So I had a vegetarian phase of about 4 or 5 years in between. And that time I was a vegetarian. So I had nothing to eat. Everything had meat sauce, and it had beef balls, the meatballs. There was not even chicken, so, and I had no one to talk to. And then in 97, 98, you didn't have mobile phones, international roaming. So, you had to make that one call, an expensive call back home. And so, once a day, maybe you spoke. Sometimes you didn't even do that. So it was a completely different world. Today, you have your cell phone, you have your net, you are connected. At that time, you would be sitting in your hotel room and just going crazy looking at the 4 walls. So playing abroad, playing internationally from 1990 to about 97, 98 was a very, very lonely journey.
As a 14-year-old, you actually played a tournament called the Warren Open, and you finished 3rd there, right? As a 14-year-old among professionals. Right. How did that happen?
So, like I said, I didn't travel to play much. I would play mostly in Calcutta. So I played a lot of club tournaments, and whatever tournament happened in Calcutta, I played them. And So there used to be three professional tournaments in Calcutta. They used to have the Gridley's Open, the Warren Open, and then there used to be a tournament called the Sarda Plywood Masters. Then we used to have Eastern India, the Wills Eastern India. You've been a part of that tour, classic Eastern India.
Yes.
So they used to have that tournament. So I used to play all those pro tournaments as an amateur. And I did get into contention a few times as a junior when I was 14, 15, 16. I would always shoot good rounds. I played the final groups. And, in our times, in the 90s, when you were also on the tour, we would finish on Sundays. Whether you're playing Lucknow, whether you're playing Calcutta, whether you're playing Delhi, Bombay, you would finish the tournaments on Sundays and you would have a sizable crowd of members coming and watching, which is not there, unfortunately, anymore. But
really? Okay.
So, you would play in front of a crowd and playing a leader group. It used to be fun. Coming back to that tournament, I think I shot something like 7, 8 under for 4 days. Basad was the god of golf at that time. He would win tournaments by 14, shooting 14, 15 under. Ali Sher was on top of his form. So, it was a great experience for me between the age of 14 and 17, getting to compete with these guys and coming close, and that was one of the reasons why also I decided to turn pro, because I felt I could compete with them.
Okay. 3 events that you finished second to Basad in, all in Calcutta, right?
That's right.
Right, and you lost by just a stroke or 2, because the guy behind you was apparently several strokes away from you.
So there was this tournament in RCGC where I finished second. Basad shot 10 under, I shot 8 under, and I think Bunty Randhawa shot 3 over. And then there was one in Tolly where again Basad shot, I think, 11 or 12 under, and I was, I think, at 8 under or 9 under. And the next guy was, I think, Firoz Ali or someone who was another 10 shots behind. So there were 3 tournaments back to back where I finished within 2 shots of Basad and about 10 shots ahead of the rest of the guys. And I think that was one of the, best times when that year and 98 when I was playing at my peak. And unfortunately for me, Basad was playing phenomenal golf. And I think that year itself, he won 5 in Bombay. I think 5 tournaments back to back in Bombay. So he was like unbeatable, and he would be holding 80 footers, 90 footers. So that was, I mean, I don't regret, but I wish, Basad wasn't around. Then I would have had 3-4 more tournaments.
So do you think, since the difference is only 1 or 2 strokes, do you think it was more of a mental thing?
Not really, Ashwin. I remember vividly, like, I remember I was within 2 shots of Basad playing the 15th hole. And we both hit it 2 on. I had a 70-footer. He had about a 65-footer for eagle. I hold mine and he hold on top of me.
Oh, right? He did?
Then, yeah. So, we both made eagle. And, in Tolly, I was... I eagled the 11th and the 12th. They were both par 5s to catch up with Basad. And Basad hold his second shot on the 13th for eagle on a par 4 to take the lead by 2 shots. So it was some crazy golf. So, it was touch and go. Maybe I made some mistakes. I bogeyed the 17th and I birdied the 18th. But, it was quality golf even by today's standard. It was really, really top quality golf. I think we both shot 4 under or something in the final round. The same way I lost to Arjun Atwal, I think in somewhere in the 2000s, 2004 or 5 in Royal, where the same thing happened. I think Arjun shot 14 under. I shot something like 11 or 12 under. And Firoz Ali shot, I think, 2 over or something to finish third. And that was again, we both shot 67 the last day. So I've had some really good tournaments where, it was really close. And I won some, I've lost some, but obviously, the ones I lost, stay in the mind a little bit more.
That's true. And this happens only with Calcutta golfers, I've noticed. Happens to Arjun Atwal, Basit Ali, this
Yeah, so
one stroke
Calcutta.
behind.
No, so Calcutta, I think till the late 90s, Calcutta was the hub of professional golf, not Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
And if you looked at the top 40 or 50 golfers in the country, more than 50% were from Calcutta. So Calcutta was definitely, you had the Basit Alis, the Bunty Randhavas, the Brandon D'Souza's, all the Asghar Ali, Chini Ali, Firoz Ali, those 4 Ali brothers. There were 2 sets of Ali brothers who were 4 and 4. So, there were 8 of them. Then you had Sheikh Ali, who was not a part of that. You had a bunch of top pros from Calcutta. So, whole lot of guys who were very good out of RCGC.
Okay. Your first professional win came at Guindy, Will Southern Open, right? Before you tell me this, let me tell you a little story about Guindy. And the Alis, since it's Guindy and Alis, it's actually something about both of them. I don't know if you remember, you were probably playing that tournament. Rafiq Ali won a tournament at Guindy. I think it was the early 2000s of 99 or 2000. One of the 2 years, he won a tournament at Guindy. And Rizwan Ali, the oldest brother, missed the cut. So Rizwan promptly went to the race course.
Yeah.
Rafiq made 1.62 lakhs, Rizwan made 5. So that's something that happened with the
Rijwan and Rohtas Singh were the 2 big gamblers out of the golfers.
Yes,
they were both. Even Rohtas was a big time into racing.
Yeah. So coming back to your win, how did that transpire? Your first professional tournament win?
Yeah, so it was quite interesting actually, because I led from the first day, and I led from the first day. I shot I think 68, 65. And then 70 and then 69. So, to shoot 8 under. But that was the first time I was playing Guindy. And there was a lot of pressure because I hadn't won a tournament in 4 years. 89, I turned pro, and it was 93. I came really close many times. You mentioned the 3 Calcutta tournaments. Then I came very close in Bangalore. I came really, really close in Bangalore to win. I think on the 17th hole, I made a par or a bogey, which was an easy par 5, and I lost out by a couple of shots. So I felt I'll never win a tournament. And in 93, when I was finally leading by 1 shot going into the final round over Firoz Ali, my dad decided to fly in on the 3rd round evening. So, he flew in Saturday night, and he said, I want to watch you, and watch you win a tournament or whatever. So, it kind of added a lot of pressure on me. And I didn't start off too well, and I think Firoz caught up. And then in the back 9, I made 3 birdies in the last 5 holes to eventually win by 3 shots. And it was a really, really tight one. And, I felt so relieved. And, after I won that tournament, I said, if I don't ever win another tournament, it's okay with me, because at least I won 1 professional tournament. And, not too many professionals in their career even managed to win 1 tournament. So it was a huge monkey off my back. And, it was a huge relief. It was the first year of my marriage. So my wife was also with me. So my father there and my wife there to watch me, win a tournament was extra special. So, it was really, really difficult. I think it was probably the toughest tournament for me to win.
It was a wire-to-wire win, right?
It was a wire-to-wire win, yes.
Okay. You didn't waste too much time in winning your next event. That happened where? In Nepal?
Yeah, so Nepal was 94.
Okay.
And very funny because, stuff I'm telling you, I don't think I've shared in any of my interviews. So there are a lot of first things people are actually getting to know. So even when my son hears this, even he will get to know things that he didn't know. So 94, I started the tournament. It was an international event, though it was the Surya Nepal Open had only like a 40-player field, but it had the top Pakistanis. The Pakistanis are really good. It had the top Bangladeshis, the Sri Lankans, people from the SAARC countries, you know. So it had some quality, a really good field. Jyoti played. I beat Jyoti in the finally. I beat Jyoti, but the first tee shot of that tournament, I remember there was an OB on the left side of the fairway. Like this other fairway was an OB, and I hit it OB, and I was just 6 inches or maybe few inches off OB, and that was the last shot I hit with my driver. So I kept the driver out of the bag, and I won the tournament only playing with a 3-wood. And I used to hit it quite far at that time. And I remember I was hitting my 3-wood past Jyoti's driver. And I played all 4 days with a 3-wood without touching my driver. And again, it was, I think I led from the second day. And again, you know, it was really close with Jyoti. I made 5 birdies and an eagle on the final round. And eventually I won the tournament by 2 shots or 3 shots. I don't remember. But I remember that that last hole is really tricky, and you could putt, you could hit a putt from the green into the valley. And I had a 3-shot lead. So I putted sideways and made 3 putts to win by 2 shots over Jyoti. So that was again a very, very good win for me, because Jyoti, had just turned professional, and he was one of the hottest players, and he remained one of the hottest players India had produced for the next 10 years or so. So beating Jyoti on a head-to-head fight, beating Jyoti and Imdad Hussain of Pakistan. Imdad was also in contention. Imdad is one of the legends of Pakistani pro golf. And to beat both of them head-to-head was again a very special win.
This was at the Royal Nepal, right? It wasn't at the...
That was at the Royal Nepal Golf Club. And, the Prince of Nepal, who unfortunately died under, very strange circumstances where he, supposedly had shot the family, and then he shot himself or something. But he's the one who gave away the prizes. So it was a very, very big event. The Nepal Open happened a few times after that, but it wasn't ever as big as, the first 2 years. I think the first year, Gaurav Ghai won, and the second year I won. So those 2 first years were huge with, with the field, with the quality of players, with people, the hospitality. So it was a huge grand event. It was like playing a Masters in Asia, so it was something like that. So that was a very, very enjoyable and exciting win. Again, my father had come down to watch, and my wife was there. So, again, winning in front of my family was a nice feeling.